Hello, and welcome to the Thinking Bigger Than Money podcast. I'm your host, Jim Morocco, and today we're talking about how we make decisions about money and how often, without realizing it, we let money make decisions about us. Many of us operate from, a quiet sort of fear that we won't have enough, and that fear often disguises itself as prudence or safety. The voice that always says, be responsible, play it safe, save what you can, buy the thing on sale, whatever it is. It's really scarcity talking, I think. And that's a voice in our head. And sometimes that voice puts money in the driver's seat instead of our values. I was speaking to a client recently, and every time we start our work together with new clients, we ask a bunch of reflection questions about money. And one of the pairs of questions that I ask is, what was the decision that you made around money that you feel brought you the most joy, was the best decision? And what was the decision, maybe that was the worst decision, or the one that you regret or don't think so highly of? And the client told me that actually the worst decision that they had ever made around money was leaving a job that they enjoyed for a job that made significantly more money. The new work looked great on paper, higher income, but it turned out that they didn't actually like the work. And eventually there was a round of layoffs and the client got laid off from the job and had to start all over again and actually take a pay cut. So looking back, he realized that the decision was actually driven by money and not actually by meaning or what was important to him. I think of another silly example for myself. I was walking down the street and I walked into a clothing store that I like, and I had no need or desire to buy any clothes that day. And I looked at the sale rack and things were 10% off for one shirt or 20% off if you bought two or more shirts. And so I walked in and I looked at the sale rack and I said, okay, I'm going to buy 3 shirts and I'll get 20% off everything because that's a great deal. And I walked out and I ended up spending more money than I actually even planned to, and I didn't need clothes. But again, I let money make a decision for me rather than actually thinking about what I really wanted or perhaps even needed. And so it just makes me wonder, how often does this happen to all of us? How often do we make choices based on dollars and cents instead of really pausing and asking, does this actually align with what I need or what's important to me? I think it shows up in a lot of different ways. Often a situation that I find myself in with my work is helping people do some sort of financial planning around job loss. Whether that's, an unintentional loss of a job because of a round of layoffs, or an intentional loss where they're taking a break or deciding they just don't like the work. It can be a really unsettling time. And I think it sorts of brings up all these natural instincts around fear and scarcity and the need to sort of fix it fast, generally speaking, right? I need to get a job and hurry up and get income because I have no income. I can't touch my savings. I need to make at least what I was making before, or it'll be a step back. And what I've seen time and time again is that an actual slowing down in that process, and this is where the financial planning work actually helps to feel more confident and secure that you have the space to slow down and take the time to reflect on what you want your next moves to be. What kind of work do you actually want to do? Is it a career pivot moment? Do you like staying in the type of role that you're in? And these can actually lead to better and more sustainable financial decisions. They may not always be more money financial decisions, but they may be more sustainable in the sense that they're more valuable because they are aligned with what's really important to you, and you could see yourself living with these decisions for much longer. So again, just challenging this belief that the best move and the best decision is always the one that means more money is not something that really makes a lot of sense when we really think about it. And I think the reverse happens too. I think oftentimes a lot of people come into money, there's a lot of panic that could show up. We see time and time again when folks inherit money or they're gifted money or they just have a large windfall for whatever reason, the general advice that they get is, take it, invest it, compound the money, be smart around it, be mindful of your taxes, and then later on you can use it and have a good life. And yes, while technically that's all good advice, to me it skips a really important part of the process in the financial planning, which is to take a step back and think about what you really want. How could this windfall of money be in service to the life that you want to live now and in the future, rather than you be in service to the money? So one scenario could be, I take that windfall of money, I have it, I invest it, I grow it, and I use it in 20 or 30 years. And maybe that feels right to you. But what if I need that money now, and that would enable me to buy the home that I've been wanting to get, or take a career break, or go back to school, start a family, whatever it might be, right? Traditional financial planning might say, defer, use the money for later on, save it. But when we make financial decisions in service of our life and in service of what's important to us, we're having those conversations and challenging what we should technically do with the money. And so when we have answers and when we go through that process, I think financial planning is a really valuable tool to use money as a driver for creating the life that we want to live rather than the other way around. So the question I'll leave you with is this: how is money controlling your choices? And what would it look like if you let your values speak up first? Is there a decision you made recently that was one based purely on money rather than on its actual merits or what was important to you? This is the heart of financial planning for me. Not spreadsheets, restrictions, and numbers only, but storytelling, alignment, and values. Thanks for being here with me, and I'll see you next time.